Everybody. I welcome the guest speaker of today and my dear friend, Dr. Karnakaran, Principal Sri Ramakrishna Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. I thank him personally and on behalf of our Vivo Chidambaram College for his readily accepting our invitation. I thank you, sir. I thank also our beloved participants who has taken keen interest for attending this webinar. I think the topic chosen today is the need of the hour. In this today's scenario of lockdown and the aftermath, it's the education 4.0 is to be discussed seriously. I congratulate our ICOC team of Vivo Chidambaram College, especially Dr. John Prince, Soundaranayakam coordinator, and Dr. D. Ratika, assistant coordinator of ICOC, for organizing this webinar. With these words, I hand over this session to Dr. Ratika. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inaugural address. Good morning to all of you over there. And we from the IQAC of Vivo Chidambaram College extend a very warm welcome to all the participants of today's session. We have about 850 participants pan-India, and that's a very good target we have achieved. And we are live streaming this on YouTube as well as we are going live in Zoom also. Today's session on Education 4.0. This is the topic of today, and I welcome Dr. Karnakaran sir. I thank him very much for accepting to come over for this webinar. The way this industry 4.0 is transforming the world with its technologies, the Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence and big data, all these have created major changes in this industry of 4.0, which has led to changes in not only industry but in also of the jobs in which the students are going to take. And this indirectly has led to this topic on Education 4.0, which is the need of the hour, and especially in this lockdown period when ICT tools and all major online courses are taking a boom. I think this is the topic we have to address, so that how are we going to train our students to cope up with this industry 4.0. So I warmly welcome Dr. Karnakaran sir for this session, and I hand over this to Dr. John Prince for a brief intro of our chief guest. Over to you, Prince sir.
Morning, ma'am. Let me have a pleasure to introduce Professor Dr. Karnakaran. Right from the school days, he is a leader. Throughout the career, he has been in leading role from the school days as ISPL. He has organized many international and national conferences, even FDPs and WS. He has an institution builders. He has close association with many institutions builders and the members of the governing bodies and the Sri Ramakrishna group of institutions. Networking. He has established a network with the various organizations like MHRD, UGC, AICTE, ETE, Anna University, and leading engineering colleges and leading arts and science colleges in India. Not only in India, he had a network with the other universities like universities in Singapore, universities in Malaysia, and universities in Australia. He is a good innovator. Introduce innovative models and best practices in teaching and learning process. So quality improvement for the teachers and assessment methodologies is teach. He is also a good researcher. He completed 67 research papers and 8 PhDs. Present responsibilities by Dr. Karnakaran. Principal and Secretary, Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science. Board of Studies members, Bharatiyar University. President, Association of Principals of Bharatiyar University. Joint Secretary, Association of Indian College Principals. Executive Committee members, Association of Self-Financing Arts and Science Colleges in Tamil Nadu. He is an advisor, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, editor, Engineering, Science and Technology and International Journal editor. He is a referee, Chemistry and Environmental Science Journal referee, Managing Director of Kovai Public School and Hosur Public School, Managing Director of Chennai Race Institute Private Limited. He is having a philosophy. What is that? Let's make the beautiful world by nurturing the beautiful minds. With this word, I introduce Dr. K. Karnakaran. Over to Radhika ma'am.
I'll hand over the session to our chief guest. Before that, I just want to give a few instructions to participants. So the participants, please mute your microphones, and during this question answer session, you will be unmuted. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. That will be answered at the end of the session. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Vanakkam and very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank the management, the principal, IQAC team, and the entire team of Vivo Chidambaram College, Thoothukudi, for inviting me for yet another session with all of you. Friends, as per the words of William Arthur, a mediocre teacher tells, a good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, only the great teachers inspires. I believe that today I'm with the inspiring teachers in this webinar session. Great salute to all of you. Once again, my Vanakkam from Coimbatore to all of you. Friends, the topic today is Education 4.0. You may wonder that Education 4.0, what is the need to get into an academic system? Of course, it relevance to the Industry 4.0 to support the Industry 4.0. Now even industry is thinking beyond 4.0. They started thinking about the Industry 5.0 system. So as a higher educational institution, builder, teacher, various capacity, role player in higher educational institution, so we must to understand what is the need of the industry at the particular point of time. And the question before all of us is, are we satisfying the requirement for the Industry 4.0 from our higher education institutions? So there comes the requirement part that we call simply as Education 4.0. So it has its relevance now. So that's why this topic is getting deliberated all over. And of course, some of the top QS rated universities now thinking beyond Education 4.0. Now they talk about Education 5.0. So in this situation, yes, it's a mandatory, and that too when the government is going to spell about the new education policy, because the deliberations are going on, and soon maybe in another 1 month time they want to see that it is being let out, going to be deliberated, and it is going to be implemented in India. We know that we have gone through the draft very well. When the new education policy as such, if the draft is going to be spelled out, going to be implemented, even non-autonomous colleges are going to be a self-regulated degree awarding autonomous institution. By default, even UOC will become autonomous. This is status. So it's the right time for us to review what is the requirement, how we can move further. Even a non-autonomous college can think of implementing the important components required under this Education 4.0 requirement, maybe in the form of value-added courses, job-oriented courses, skill-oriented courses, or in any form. So with this background, I'm just bringing Education 4.0 to all of you. Very happy to see that people have joined from all over the country for this webinar session. I'm really fortunate to be the speaker for today's session. So with this note, I would like to bring my presentation to all of you. I believe my presentation is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
So this presentation or this webinar is really giving you a way for the future institutions. Friends, no more legacy continues in education sector until otherwise we match to the requirement. Age-old institutions, 80-year, 120-year-old institutions, who believed that about 5 years back, they said that mobile phones are banned inside the college. Even college authority made a vigilance committee to check in the bags, purses and all. Do you possess your mobile? That was the situation about 3 years back, 4 years back, 5 years back. The same institution is now asking, bring your mobile. I want to mobile. Almost all in the institutions are now connected with the mobile with their students for online teaching, online assessment, whatnot. Even VOC or the college like Ramakrishna never thought 2 months back this is going to be and we'll be having webinars with many of our faculty members like this. So we had a mindset why we have to move towards the new era. I'm comfortable so far, so I'm good at so far, and my students are doing good. Why I have to change myself? See, friends, there is a time has come now. I think it is teaching through this corona lockdown, the pandemic. I think it's the time for us to wake up in all our pathways in which we are moving in the education sector. So with this note, I'm just moving further. Yeah, as I told you about 10 years back, we had no smartphone, we have no WhatsApp. Of course, none of us spelled about social media, digital content we have not made. No e-content was made by any of the college. Only in the recent 3 years time, Swayam, NPTEL are emerging from the government of India. About 10 years back, nothing was there except some of the content in Google. And no one thought about online certification 2 years back. Now almost every student is instructed to go in online certification. Even colleges are insisting the faculty to undergo online certification on some of the emerging areas. There was no ICT tool other than the projector. There was no speed internet connection. Even to open a mail, we have to wait for a few minutes. That was the situation about 3 years back, 2 years back. Once the Jio is introduced here in India, yes, the thanks to Jio for bringing high-speed internet connectivity through all over India, so that now we are enjoying 1.5 GB almost on daily basis, just with a cost of about 144 rupees in a month. Internet banking, no one thought about we can do even banking money transfer through our mobile. No AI, no big data. No one thought about big data. AI was those days about 10 years back. It was called neural network. Now the new nomenclature AI is get into big data. So those days we call it as statistic tools. Now big collection of data are analyzed with softwares like R programming and all. IoT, right? See the beauty of IoT. Almost in all the sectors, IoT is playing its major role. You say any sector, without IoT application, there is no sector right now. This is a reality now. So, friends, 10 years back, nothing was there. But I'm projecting in the screen. But all these are reality now. If this is a reality in 10 years, what is going to be the future? What is the expected skill out of the present era? So we need to address that through our education system. Of course, during 2010, when we want to send a happy birthday message or happy new year message, most of us, we used only SMS, for which we have paid. Now there is no payment. Whether anybody is using SMS now? Rarely. When WhatsApp is not working, then probably we'll be using SMS. Otherwise, everybody is using only this application WhatsApp. It's a free of cost, easy to handle. Transfer of any image, videos is easily possible. When we have changed this much, why the education sector is not changing rapidly? I'm very sorry that the education sector is not at all changing rapidly, like that of industry, like that of the applications what we enjoy. Where are these gadgets? 10 years back, we had camera, we had video camera, we had Walkman. Now all in one tool, this device. This device takes care of everything. Even I'm not wearing my watch nowadays because anything is available out of this. So we have thrown away, we have moved out overhead projectors, some of the good old things what we have been using, gone completely. Fine. Even if you come to the teaching, I'm not saying that teaching has not majorly changed in the 10 years time. There are few points I'm just bringing here. Teachers are leading everywhere now. Media is designed and it is being shared. Applications are being used by our majority of the teachers and students now. Kahoot, WhatsApp, Facebook, even now tools like Zoom, Google Meet, whatnot. Mobile is the first now. Than the book, mobile is the first now. If you take Ramakrishna during examination time, none of our students will bring book. They bring only the e-book, which they will sit and read from their mobile. I do understand that about 3-4 years back in Coimbatore, when I find boards, when I joined in this college, there was a board outside SNR Sons College. That time it was called SNR Sons College. Mobile phones are prohibited. When I joined, I removed the board and I was keeping quiet for some time. Then I put another board. Kindly bring your smartphone to the class. Then I changed the words of that. It is mandatory that a student should bring the mobile phone to the classroom about 3.5 years back. When Ramakrishna is capable of doing such a revolution in the education sector, just by using this mobile phone tool, education purpose is fulfilled with this kind of tool, right? So mobile is the first now. Students and teachers are always connected now. Google Classroom, whatnot. Number of platforms are available to connect a student and teacher 24/7 actively in almost all the modes. Digital games, digital technology, game-based education, all those are available. Information is everywhere. The only point is wisdom is the scar. That is the point I'm just bringing here. When the tools are getting into the education sector, yes, wisdom is the question right in front of all of us. And we need not worry about it because all over the world, the changes are inevitable. The only change will change everything is the change. That's it. 10 years back, I'm just bringing again few points for your information. There was no kind of jobs like this which were existing about 10 years back. iOS developer, Android developer, data analyst, AI developer, cloud service specialist, digital marketing specialist. No one thought digital marketing as one of a very important tool about 5 years back. Now digital marketing is the core subject almost for all the domain students. Inevitable. So 10 years back, nothing was there. Now, most of the jobs are only in this line. When this is the line, this is the job profile for our students. Do our education system is meeting the requirement of giving away all this input to our student community? The future jobs, maybe in 2025. People predict that, very much predict that. I'm just my pen here. Yeah. See, the prediction goes that maybe in another about 5 years' time, 65% of the new jobs are going to be created, which are all not at all existing now. If the job profile is unknown for an educational institution, how to make them ready? But the challenge for the educational institution is institution provider, including the teachers, management, principal, every system is we have to focus certain things and we have to move forward. Since the definition is unknown, so we have to define on our own pathway and we have to lay down those skill sets for our student community and we have to move further. The future generation feel prepared and confident. That is the role of an education institution, said by the HP founder. Very clear. Very clear. 2025 job market is going to face these challenges. So here comes the importance of education 4.0. This I'm bringing from World Economic Forum report. The jobs expected with the skills are the top 10 emerging skill set required for our student community. They need to have specialized knowledge in data analytics, AI and machine learning, operation, software and applications, including development and analytics, sales and marketing, big data specialists, digital transformation, new technology, information technology services, cloud. No one thought about cloud. Now cloud is the essential source for all the business. So cloud is supposed to be a core paper for almost all the branches irrespective. That's my point of view. If you see the declining areas, data entry, clerk. So far, we were supplying our students mostly for the BPOs and KPOs. Those jobs are going away. Accounting, bookkeeping, payroll clerks, administrative and executive secretaries, all these are declining. Who knows? Maybe after 5 years, even the teachers may be hired or appointed maybe on hourly basis in our colleges. That may be the situation. See the automation, rapid automation happening. 25% were occupied by machine in industry sector during 2018, and the anticipation is up to 52% in 2025. Means many of our students are not going to get job at all in industry sector. See this. It was for 51. Now it may be around 65 also for the industry requirement from our human, and it is going to reduce to 48% in the year 2025. This is reality. Anticipation from World Economic Forum. Even India Skills Report 2020 is talking about this. Skill set required for our student community. Again, I'm bringing from World Economic Forum report. In 2020, if you see my slide on the left, the skills required for 2020 are complex problem solving ability, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence. We were not at all using this word emotional intelligence until this year. We were keep on telling among our educators that IQ is important, IQ is important. Now, industry is expecting beyond IQ the term EQ. Do our educational institutions, through our teaching process, through the learning process by the student community in our colleges, do we imparted all these skills? This is a question I'm just putting in front of all of you. We have to wake up, my dear friends. And our education system should soundly say that these skills are being developed in our colleges during the teaching learning process, during the assessment process, during the activities which we keep in our colleges. It has to be education 4.0 is for this purpose only. And the anticipation, see this, 2020 World Economic Forum spelled about these top 10 skills. But the same World Economic Forum, in the recent version, they have set some skill sets for the graduates to be employable in industry. See that in 2 years' time, the scenario is slightly changing. Problem ability, analytical thinking, or innovation is in the top. Active learning, agile learning. Agile atmosphere is going to be the need of the hour. Of course, creativity, originality, emotional intelligence, very, very, very important component now being valued very much by this world. Emotional intelligence. We have to set our system to develop emotional intelligence for our student community. So with this, education 4.0 is supposed to address in our education system. 2025 organization setup is going to be like this. It is going to be clearly process excellence oriented, purpose driven culture, only adaptive technology, and agile teams. Agile teams in the sense at any point of time, the team will shuffle. Who are all talented in particular area, they are going to be accumulated in team and they are going to take it further the business. No more. No, once upon a time I had skill. No more. What the skill you possess right now, only for them the jobs are ready. Of course, everybody is talking about this. When the industry 4.0 is introduced, In industry about 5 years back, this was one of the term brought into education in industry 4.0. Now this is applicable for education 4.0. Highly volatile future, uncertain future, complex future, and highly ambiguous future. We don't know what skill set a student is supposed to have when they go out. Of course, we can predict certain areas, but not completely. That's a real situation. Earlier, we thought that communication skill, basic knowledge in the domain, and some soft skills are sufficient enough. No, now the situation is not like that. See the businesses, the real world businesses happen in this recent era. The world largest taxi community, Uber, never owns a taxi. Alibaba never owns or never do any. You take Netflix, they are not at all producing any cinemas or movies. Facebook, they are not at all developing any content. See the situation. See the new businesses. Almost maximum of the businesses are going to be like this. And the business model is going to be without investing money, with someone's money, the business is going to exist. That too in the digital era. Right now, the top 5 soft skills are expected from our student community, namely creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. Again, I'm bringing the same questions in front of all the educators, that do we impart all these essential soft skills for our student community through our education system? And the hard skills, of course, blockchain, cloud computing, analytical reasoning ability, artificial intelligence, business analytics, sales, scientific computing. See this. The hard skills and the skills which are not at all needed now. Still we teach Linux, Java and all. See this, the world is completely moving on the other side. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python, data science. Now only many colleges are implementing these as value-added courses or some of the core courses in their syllabus. I don't know. In some of the universities, even artificial intelligence is not there, even for computer science. Very shocking in India. My dear friends, and the colleges, like many of the autonomous colleges, brought artificial intelligence as one of the core paper for all the domain, irrespective whether they study chemistry or bioscience or management education or commerce. With Ramakrishna is giving the artificial intelligence in the first year, and in the second year end, we are giving the application of artificial intelligence into commerce, application of artificial intelligence into management, application of artificial intelligence in chemistry, IoT applications in bioscience. Kind of integrations are already happened and it's going on. Industry 4.0, I think I need not to explain much about it. So this industry 4.0 era is completely on digital in nature, thinking on its own. Intelligent machines are coming up, so for which we have to give our manpower in the form of graduate students. I'm coming to the point, education 4.0. It will cater to the need of the industry 4.0, enabling the workforce and the machines to align to explore the new possibilities. It will deploy the potential of digital technologies. Yes, of course, these are the digital technologies. AI, IoT, machine learning, augmented reality. These are the digital technologies. And the second area is open source content and personalized data for this globally connected and tech-driven world. So when the technology is going to drive, the other component is also very much important. That is emotional intelligence. Along with this tech-driven digital technological world, emotional intelligence is one of the very, very essential criteria that has to be dealt inside our educational system. This is my personal point of view, because the other side world is also talking about it. Leading education is also spelling, World Economic Forum, India Skills Report, everything is talking about emotional intelligence. And we can expect that the education 4.0 will create a blueprint for the future learning, from college-based learning to learning at the workplace. If it continues, if the system is going to be seriously implemented, there is a threat for the existing even institutions. Maybe in the future, than a degree certificate, some professional certifications may be valued far better than a 3-year degree or 5-year degree. Who knows? That may be the situation in the future. So there is a worry for all of us. Yes, here for the members who are all working in the regular colleges. In short, Education 4.0 is preparing graduates for the future work. Means future-ready education to be given in our colleges, preparing students for the fourth industrial revolution by aligning its curriculum, by aligning the teaching learning methods, by aligning most importantly the assessment methodologies with the skills needed in the future very successfully. Then only we can able to say that our students are capable of to compete in the job market. I'm just skipping a few of the things. In short, Education 4.0 is learning anywhere by anyone by any time. This is what Swami is also telling. Very personalized learning, very flexible mode of learning. Peers, more importantly, peers are going to be the mentors than the teachers in this Education 4.0 system. Students are the owners. It is going to be completely on student-centric. It is not at all going to be teacher-centric. Teachers are going to be only the mentors here, or the motivators. Of course, yes, these are the 9 trends. I can come back again to this same slide little later. So with this background, I would like to welcome to the future. Let us anticipate what will be the future. Then how our education system to be tuned for this future. People are talking about the future. It may be reality, maybe after 5 years or 10 years. Let us understand what may be the future reality. Once if we forecast, then only it may be possible for us to think, bring certain changes into our education system, adopt and see that our students are capable of facing the future. We, the teachers, will completely self-oriented within this particular era, but the future students are not going to be like that. We have to prepare them. So what may be the future from my point of view? I'm just presenting you. You may disagree also, but it's my point of view. Just see this slide. Days are not far away to shake hands with the machines or robots. It is going to be the reality in the future. When the boom of industry sector is going on in IoT and AI, yes, it's going to be the reality. Even now, you can experience this AI application in our own mobile. Suppose if you start, suppose if your mobile is connected with mobile data all the time. If you start from home for your college, maybe in the morning at 8 o'clock, for the college to start at 9 o'clock. If you are practicing yourself, start at 8 o'clock and reaching by 8:40 or 8:30 to our college, all of a sudden you could find a message in your mobile that this is the shortest route. It will take about 10 minutes time to reach the daily destination. Default, automatically our mobile is showing in the last about 3-4 months. I don't know whether you have noticed or not. This is the application of AI. And who knows what we may eat, what we are practiced to eat, probably our mobile will suggest to us. What is our interest area? What is our hobby? Probably our mobile will give some input for us. So this is a situation even now, my dear friends. If that is there already, why not this? The days are not far away. Again, to learn combinedly a trained machine along with human. Because AI is now playing its major role to make a robot, a machine, to think like a human. The interface work is going on in plenty of places. You could have noticed even during the COVID pandemic time, most of the hospitals adopted some of the machines called robots for giving treatment to the patients. We witness through our WhatsApp and TV news. Who knows? Even the robots can teach many of our students in the later part. Going to be the reality. I'm not exaggerating. Let us anticipate. If these are all things, if these things are possible, why not the next one? I'm just bringing this light to you. நம்ம இது எங்கேயோ கேள்விப்பட்ட விஷயம். புஷ்ப விமானம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம மகாபாரதத்துல படிச்சிருக்கிறோம். If all these things are going to be reality, yes, this may also reality in future. It may take another 10 years time, 20 years time, but it may also reality in the future. I'm not telling a lie here or a false news here. Just see I don't know how many of you follow the fortune tellers books and other things, whether it is Baba Wange or நாஸ்டாடாமஸ் ஆர் இந்தியாவிலே ஒரு தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருந்த ஒரு சித்தர் எழுதி வச்சிருந்த கோரக்கநாதர் அப்படின்ற ஒருத்தரோட புத்தகங்கள்லாம் படிச்சிக்கலாம்னு தெரியல. இந்த ஆன்டிசிபேஷன் அவங்க கிளியரா இயர் போட்டு மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, இந்தியால இந்த மாற்றங்கள்லாம் வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு 2023-25 அப்படின்னு மென்ஷன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. பாபா வாங்கே ஆர் நாஸ்டாடாமஸ் 2023ல இந்த மாதிரியான பறக்கும் தட்டுகள் அல்லது பறக்கும் விமானங்கள் வர்றதுக்கான வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்குன்றாங்க. People going to live in the space. The days are not far away when the technology is driving towards such a rapid speed. May possible. It may take its own time, but this may be the future. I'm just telling that to just keep your mind open. I'm just bringing all this to all of you. மகாபாரதத்துல புஷ்பக விமானம் பாசிபிள்னா இந்த ஏஐ ஏராவில் கண்டிப்பா இந்த மாதிரியான விஷயங்களும் பாசிபிள் தான். நீங்க கோரக்கநாதர் புத்தகங்களை நீங்க படிச்சு பாருங்க. அவர் சொல்லியிருக்கிற விஷயம் ஏஐ பத்தி அப்பவே ஆன்டிசிபேட் பண்ணிருக்காரு. அழிவில்லாத அரசன்கள் வருவார்கள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த வேர்ட் இருக்கு, அழிவில்லா அரசன் அப்படின்ற ஒரு வார்த்தை இருக்கு. So he means about the AI situation which is going to dominate all the technical industry, human life, everywhere. So with this, I'm just moving further. It may be an exaggeration from my side, but I anticipate these things may possible. நம்ம இறக்கிறதுக்குள்ள ஐ திங்க் நான் எல்லாம் நல்லா பார்ப்பேன் அப்படின்ற எனக்கு நம்பிக்கை இருக்கு இந்த ஏரியாலாம். Fine. So now education 4.0 requirement. Demand led instead of supply led education. Competency based instead of knowledge based. More on skill set. More on disruptive technologies. Lifelong learning instead of front loader learning. Modular degree instead of one shot going. Already it is there. If you take BO courses, I don't know, VOC is running BO courses. When you BO courses, diploma, postgraduate diploma, degree, postgraduate degree, one can move away at any point of time with the requirement. A modular degree is already in place. Even education institutions under the new education policy, yes, it is possible. A college can admit a student. If a student stays in a college for 1 year, he has to get a certificate. If he is continuing for 3 years, then only he will get degree. If it is 4th year, higher degree. Or I think there is a new term given in new education policy. So I'm not discussing about the new education policy here, but already the government spelled out in another 1 month time the new education policy is going to be implemented in India. Of course, emphasize on EQ than IQ. Focus on purposefulness, mindfulness, leading to overall happiness and well-being. This all about education 4.0. It is education 4.0 is not only the technology-driven areas. Education 4.0 demands, in addition to the technology-driven area, the other areas like lifelong learning, modular degree, emphasize on EQ, purposeful living, well-being, all those things are inclusive of this education 4.0 system. If you take the technology-driven industry 4.0 demand from education sector is intelligent information society. Every student is supposed to be an intelligent information society person. One should know about data analytics, one should know about digital marketing, one should know about something about AI, everything. Then other components like IoT, AI, augmented reality, cloud, cyber security, big data, mobile area, of course, global connectivity, because the business is going to be absolutely global hereafter. Is it possible to implement in our own system? Yes, it is possible. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, IoT, augmented reality can be very well implemented in all the departments, including basic science departments, whether it is botany or zoology or bioscience. We started experimenting. Many of the institutions already started experimenting. If you take some of the top institutions, they already have all this, not only in the engineering technology area, as well as in the basic science, management, commerce, accounting. If you take our own partner institution in Malaysia, whether it is Sunway or ICA Pacific University, very well they have artificial intelligence and augmented reality in their commerce education. Of course, this cloud, cyber security, mobile may be a subject of concern for the computer science, IT and electronics area. I'm not going to touch much about artificial intelligence. It may be a new word for the basic science or the other non-computer science faculty colleagues, but it's a very simple concept. Need of the hour. Our students must know some of the basic foundation on artificial intelligence. So it's time for us to bring artificial intelligence even in the domain of other than computer science. This is my recommendation. This is what even Education 4.0 demands. How we would like to bring it, whether it is going to be a core paper or allied paper or a value-added program, that's our implementation work. Along with artificial intelligence, the machine learning. I'm not briefing about all these components. I think for want of time, I'm just shortcutting all these things. I'm just bringing all this title alone to all of you. Of course, it's algorithm-based, program-based. One need to know as how to write the program for these simple AI applications. Deep learning is part of it. Deep learning applications we have already experiencing in our day-to-day life. It has emerged from neural network. If we come to big data, now volumes and volumes and volumes of data are being generated. Even the data now in the platform, like whether it is YouTube or Zoom, now our data is generated, and the data is being, because the kind of allegation on Zoom is the Zoom management is selling the data. Whoever logged into this Zoom webinar today, the contacts are going to be exported and the contacts are going to be sold out. So this is allegation to Zoom. So the data is the key business for many of the functions. If you enter into any of the social applications, they ask your mail ID, they ask your mobile number. So what are they going to do with your mobile number? It is going to be sold to an unknown person who may be requiring your mobile number for marketing or pushing some of the products. So here the data comes to picture, and it has its own value in all the domain. Of course, some softwares or some of the applications are also going along with big data, namely Hadoop, R, Pig, Hive. So many are emerging now, and basically it's completely of a statistics nature. One need to know about basic statistics or mathematics to understand and to move further in this domain. Internet of Things, it's a default now. The applications are default almost in all the domains, whether it is a automatic door, your mobile, your recently purchased car, or any of the electronic gadgets. Automation is inevitable everywhere. All are IoT based. A student must know about the basic component of IoT, whatever may be the domain specific. I'm not explaining this. You see the tremendous IoT applications in almost all the areas. Whatever you say, it as smart bike, smartphone, smart home, all are IoT application based. Sectors like manufacturing, transportation, retail, science and technology, IT, education, healthcare, energy, construction, agriculture. IoT plays a role in all the sectors. If this is the case, why not a botany student? Why not a student of mathematics? Why not a student of VVA should learn about IoT? Current scenario of IoT usage. IoT technology in almost in all the places. I'm not telling much about this. Even if you take bio, All the biosensors are IoT based. Microcontroller platforms, Arduinos, the nano Arduinos. Now it is a hot topic. Raspberry Pi, cloud, ThinkSpeak application in the medical science is tremendous now. Augmented reality. I'm bringing the next important technology driven area, augmented reality. Augmented reality is one of a very important components, right? The perception of the digital transformation, usually visual perception synchronized with the objects and places in the physical world around the user. Default virtual reality also goes like this. When you anticipated certain things, how it may look like, how it may behave, the study of that is simply said to be augmented reality. So this is also inevitable in the future world. So let us see that how a teacher can learn augmented reality, how a teacher can apply this augmented reality into the teaching process. So big research is going on. Many of the top universities are incorporating augmented reality as a concept of teaching. My dear friends, kindly understand, augmented reality as a concept of teaching. Of course, VR is default along with the augmented reality. Cloud. Whatever we do now, all our applications are being stored in cloud. So one should know something about cloud. Suppose a student of, say, BBA, maybe later he wants to do some business after completing the course. Probably he need to know what is all about cloud, how we can do the business having the content in the cloud. So some knowledge about cloud is also being expected by this Education 4.0 demand, whatever may be the domain. Information security. Yesterday I had one session by a very well-known IPS officer in the country, namely Varun Kapoor. He gave such a wonderful session yesterday through YouTube. Lakhs of people witnessed his session yesterday. He dealt only with cyber security. It is need, we must need to know what is the cyber threat in front of all of us. So we must educate our students on this area also. Mobile, of course, this is a default. Application side also, one may need to know little about. Fine. With all these things, our education institution can emerge for the Education 4.0. If you take Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science in Coimbatore, few other institutions also now joined with Ramakrishna institutions, and we have formulated certain policy how we can approach education for 4.0, how we can bring education 4.0 into the education sector. Majorly, we have divided 5 areas, namely curriculum, research, student, faculty, and infrastructure. An autonomous college can very well adopt this very easily because they have their own autonomy. So very well they can come out from the university system and go forward as per the recommendations of now. I don't know how many of you have gone through this LOCF model of UGC. It only says about outcome-based education. Learning outcome-based curriculum framework, need of the hour. In 2013 itself, Tansky recommended to go up to 40% of internal, 40% of skill-based, 40% of analytical or high order thinking capability-based question system. But still, we have not approached towards that. But it's the time when all the institutions are going to be autonomous in the near future, maybe in another 2 months' time. So need of the hour, even viewers should seriously think of preparing a core team and to look their own curriculum system for the future, incorporating this Education 4.0. So curriculum is one of the very important key area: research, student, faculty, infrastructure. Maybe for another 10 minutes, I'm going to touch only on this curriculum development. Rest of the things probably, if you invite me, I can share the other areas how we can move further in terms of student development, faculty development, infrastructure, research development for the Education 4.0 requirement. So I'm going to touch only on the curriculum development for the Education 4.0 requirement. When we talk about curriculum excellence for Education 4.0, curriculum design, goals for curriculum excellence, action plan for curriculum excellence to be set. What is this curriculum design? How it has to be? I'm bringing the same slide again. Every department should think about the tech-driven areas like artificial intelligence, data science or big data, IoT, augmented reality, possibly cloud, mobile security and other areas. This is one component we must to bring into our education system. Of course, the content is already available. About a year back itself, the National Institute for Technical Teachers Training and Research, based at Chandigarh, already released the syllabus for all these papers. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, robotics. The syllabus is already available. Now AICTE affiliated institutions already started adopting all this. Some of the autonomous colleges, I'm talking in arts and science, also started adopting artificial intelligence, IoT, blockchain. I saw in Kaveri College, they have adopted 4 or 5 papers, same syllabus. I saw in the last 2 months back during their governing council meeting. Learning outcome-based curriculum framework, need of the hour, and rightly UGC has taken up and derived LOCF for almost all the subjects, and for the remaining subjects also the work is going on. It's the UGC's model curriculum and already launched for many subjects like computer science, physics, chemistry, English, social science, and few more other. I think in the recent past they have clearly linked the graduated course, clearly and soundly spelled about the program outcomes, teaching learning process for the Education 4.0. They soundly request the education institutions to change, and they have recommended even for multiple assessment method. Friends, Ramakrishna adopted multiple assessment methods very well. Means our even undergraduate program, the minimum percentage of internal is 40%. It's not 25 or 30. Earlier we had 30. For some of the papers we had 40. Now we have moved from 30 to 40 minimum. Individual teachers can vary. Some papers we have full internal, 100% internal. Some 50, some 60. Pass minimum also varies. For some papers it's 40, some papers it's 45, some papers it's 50. For the important skill-oriented papers, we need to rise. Really, we need to rise the pass minimum. We cannot stick to the same of 40 when a student is expected for the future world. I'm bringing again the same slide. The Education 4.0 require very gradual paradigm shift. It's not possible. I do agree that it's not possible for an overnight shift, but we need to think maybe 2 years time, 1 year time, 1.5 years time, 3 year time. So let us see that step by step. The adaptation should take place. The implementation should take place seriously. Basically, the mindset of all the educators to change first. Then only it is possible to bring inside the curriculum. Then only because training is needed for all our faculty members, because unlearn and relearning is the need of the time for our teachers. How many of our teachers are undergoing Coursera courses now? Because Coursera is people who are undergoing, I don't know, people will agree or disagree with me in this webinar session. If anybody is undergoing course in Swayam and Coursera now, certainly no one will think of undergoing further courses in Swayam. They say that Coursera courses are very much updated, relevant. I think people will agree with me, because most of my teachers are saying that, sir, we don't want to do any more course with Swayam or NPTEL. We want to go with Coursera or edX or something like that. Kindly have the business dealing with Coursera and see that it is available in the college so that we can undergo comfortably in Coursera. So that's the real situation, my dear friends. I'm just bringing one point, emphasis on EQ than IQ. Of course, IQ and EQ are going to be the key points for the future success. Without EQ, no future success for our student community. Not only student, even for a human being, without proper EQ, we cannot lead a team, we cannot lead a society, we cannot make leaders for the society. So EQ is getting importance in 4.0. I'm just throwing some points on EQ area: motivation, empathy, self-awareness, social skills. These are the 4 important components under EQ. I repeat: motivation, empathy, self-awareness, social skills, which we forgot maybe in the recent past. So we have to bring back the cultural tradition in the form of empathy, the cultural tradition of our social skills, self-dependency, self-respect, all those in the form of EQ. EQ, without EQ, I think it's very difficult to live with future. In simple words, EQ is what mind says, what heart says. Align yourself, go along with. Sometimes what heart says, the mind never accepts. What mind says, the heart will never accept. EQ is balancing these two, moving along with that. Being empathy is most important quality being expected by Education 4.0, which I feel that we have come out a long way from EQ in the recent past. In the name of educational innovation, this, that, and all. So it has to be taken care by education institution. It's mandatory. Even if it is a higher education institution, it's mandatory that EQ must be an important component which we have to give away for our society. There are a number of ways we can develop EQ in our college system. We have deliberated in our college and we have brought into our curricular system active learning through active teaching. Yes, active learning or active listening is possible only by way of active teaching. The student must to accept that my teachers have more knowledge than me. My teachers will create wow. My teachers are updated in tech-driven world. They need to have such a feeling for their teachers. They have to accept that the teachers are the mentors. Then only the active listening or active learning will take place. So we must to unlearn and we have to relearn. I'm bringing this point again: unlearn and relearn concept. Individual task, facilitating mindfulness, challenging the negative thoughts, more group activities for our students. Psychology play a very major role in our teaching process that we have to bring inside our teacher community. Those who have done B.Ed course, they have done psychology. You could find in your own college system that teachers who have done B.Ed may be having good rapport with students. The reason is they know what is all about students, how to connect with them. Psychology plays a very major role for a teacher. It's that alone gives something about how a human will behave. So this Education 4.0 demands the EQ development, demands psychology component also. Fine. It is simple. Psychology, EQ is, instead of asking, could you help me to typing in this room, instead of this room is a mess. If you visit or if you are asking, if you are maybe a head of the department or a colleague, instead of asking, I'm still waiting for your report. Many times we ask, I'm still waiting for your report. If an assignment is given to a student or if a work is given for a subordinate, probably colloquially and we ask, I'm still waiting for your report. A EQ rich person will ask, would you please be able to give me your report? This will be the approach. See the kindness. This is what all about EQ. Just for simple understanding, I just said this. So excellence for 4.0 in terms of curriculum, in terms of research, in terms of student, in terms of faculty, in terms of infrastructure. And one more component I'm thinking here. We talk about pedagogy. The higher education teaching management is not pedagogy. Actually, it's andragogy. But in India, we say that pedagogy is for not for adults. It's for the school kids. The adult learning methodology is said to be andragogy. We must to think of one more term called heatagogy. From andragogy, we have to move to heatagogy. Then only very well we can adopt this Education 4.0. So if you search in Google, you will get to know more about this heatagogy. It is all about self-determined learning, self-managed learning, learner-centric education system. Maybe if you ask me to talk about heatagogy, maybe for any one of the session, I'm ready to share with another session on this topic, Hitagagi. Hitagagi is a level over this Andagagi, level over pedagogy. It is all about self-directed, self-disciplined, more EQ related learning process, teaching process, education process. So this is how we have taken up goals for our curriculum excellence, areas to improve, and action plan for that. Before I end, I would like to just share some of the areas in which we have taken up at Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science. The college has adopted CBCS, OBE, and recently spelled out LOCF of UGC. 40% is the internal, it's a minimum. A subject teacher can go up to 50%, 60%, 70%, 100% internal. Multiple assessment tools. You could find about n number of multiple assessment tools. When we expect our students to be creative, to be analytical, to be independent, to be a problem-based learner, to be an active learner, to be an independent learner, we must to give more multiple assessments. We have to involve them into many of the activities instead of making them to sit for 6 hours, 7 hours for lecturing mode. So multiple assessment, and those multiple assessments are internal components. You could find about 7, 8, 10 varieties of multiple assessment tools in our college system. Credit transfer from industry, online, abroad. Some of the online courses are giving better insight than the classroom teaching. Open books exams, very difficult to set questions for open books exams. Until otherwise, a teacher is very much in depth in the subject, then only they can set questions in the open book examination. We have a few papers for open book examination. Fast track system, a student well before the 5th semester, they need not to go for 6th semester at all. They can complete the 6th semester papers along with 4th and 5th semester and can complete the requirement for the academic. Only the project will be left over. So that can go along with the internship during the 6th semester. A fast track system is implemented in our college. Open elective courses. When I talk about EQ, these are all the areas giving EQ for our students. Life skills. What Jeevan Kusal curriculum spelled out by UGC is very well adopted here. Yoga, that's human excellence. Consumer awareness, disaster management, start business. This is an open elective paper. Anybody can start. Anybody can take this paper. Innovation and entrepreneurship. This is a core subject. This subject is there in the first year itself. When the colleges are given away, the Institution Innovation Council, IIC by MHRD. The MHRD is expecting all the students should be creative in nature, innovative in nature. Without giving some input for them, we cannot expect them to be innovative. So innovation paper must be there for all the domain in the first year. We have incorporated that paper in the first year. Campus to corporate, research methodology. Yes, of course. Instead of project, let us see that our students are involving in student undergraduate research in the final year. So let us change the nomenclature, either project or student research in the final semester. It will lead to creativity. So if we want that our students should be creative, innovative, to become an entrepreneur, to come out with products, to patent some of their ideas, process, products, this methodology must be a component in the first year. Let it be an open elective. Only the interested students can opt. And one more recommendation is consortium of colleges. It's difficult for an individual institution to come along with all these components and go as a single institution. So I recommend few institutions can join together as a consortium. In management policy, it is called win-win situation, give and take policy. Let me give my strength, you give your strength. Let us join together and let us emerge as a quality institution. This is very well applicable for the education sector also. In Coimbatore, 4 of our colleges joined together, top colleges. We have made a consortium. Now we exchange our students, we exchange our teachers here itself. When we are talking about exchange of teachers, we always think of going abroad. I have a faculty exchange program with Malaysia University, US University, Canada University. Why not in our own country, in our own city, in our own town, in our own university? Very well possible, because Everyone is having their own basic strength. So exchange is possible. Only thing, the mindset of the management and the top people should change. Yes, sir, because we want to grow. Let me help them also to grow. So let us jointly grow together. So consortium of college idea is one of the key point I'm just bringing, not only for VOC, for any institution wants to grow quickly. My recommendation at this particular point of time to VOC and the other non-autonomous colleges, when the government is ready with NEP, new education policy, not only VOC, all the institutions, colleges which are affiliated right now under the university system are going to be degree awarding autonomous institutions by default. Please have a focus for the future curriculum, which is required for the future skills for our society. Here I end. Thank you very much for the great opportunity given by my good friend, the principal of VOC College, and Professor John and Professor Radhika Madam, the IQAC team of VOC College, for spelling out on the important area education 4.0 with all of you. I'm open, maybe for another 20 minutes or so also, maybe for some sort of discussions, clarifications, or if you want to even debate with me, I'm ready for that. I'm open.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the participants can ask their questions. GN sir.
Yes, ma'am.
The participants can just indicate, they can unmute them.
Okay.
If you unmute everybody, that will be a chaos.
Ma'am, actually they can unmute
themselves. Okay, participants, you can unmute yourselves and you can ask the question one by one, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your wonderful talk. This is Desikan from Vinyams University, Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
The component is, you just talked about the education 4.0. Thank you for the wonderful information and talk. And my question is regarding, because before 2000, if you just look into that computer, that means that many of the people don't know how to operate the computer, and if you just move the data is very difficult. Even I just my college days I used floppy, then disk, and then now we are using we can operate the data using our pen drive. So what would be the future scenario, like education 6.0 or education 8.0, if you just future from 10 years from now? What would be your prediction? What we can teach to the students? Yeah, thank you.
Really, thanks for putting this question, sir. I'm also searching some of the content and answer for this question. Really, this question is in front of me always. So I have a straight board in my office. What next? There is a board in front of me always. So I keep this question always. So this question is even in front of me. Really, I don't know anything about what may be the recommend for the education 5.0 or 6.0. At least let us wake up and implement education 4.0 right now. Maybe during our implementation, there may be a way forward to think for the next level. This is what my perception. I'm really happy about your question, sir. You are anticipating. I'm just looking that all the members in the forum to anticipate like him, that there is a tremendous change future is expecting for all of us. So we, the education institutions, education providers, to anticipate and maybe may design certain areas in our implementation system, and probably we can move forward.
Sorry to ask, actually I have one more question. I just want to proceed along with this connection. As you know that you are reading the newspapers, whenever that companies are recruiting our students, and after the recruitment, they always come to the complaint that your students are useless. They are not even work for the as engineer. How you are seeing this kind of comment in the newspaper? Yeah, thank you.
Sir, one very important term, this Washington Accord spelled out. Later, we have also adopted in other than engineering institutions, called lifelong learning. Means a person is expected to learn on day-to-day basis. Updations are inevitable. Updations are getting into the industry sector, education sector, all those things. When we talk about C programming, once upon a time. Then Oracle and Java played a major role. So people were expected with the Java skill. When our students learned Java, when they go for market, the market demands over Java. Do you know Python and R programming? Now, even in many of the arts and science colleges, we don't have subject Python. Still, there are institutions, affiliated institutions under university. Python is not a subject. Now, CBSE in class 8th, they teach Python.
Correct.
And the industry is demanding more on Python.
Exactly.
New tools have derived, more simplified, accurate tools are derived. So this is the never-ending questions, sir. Never-ending questions. Individuals are, I'm talking both teachers as well as students, are expected to learn on daily basis.
Exactly.
No other go.
Lifelong learning. Exactly.
Lifelong
Outcome-based
learning.
education is one of the
Yes.
main
Yes.
motto of this.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
said one thing during my presentation. Kindly unlearn what
Yeah.
you have.
Relearn.
Relearn. Come back as a fresh teacher. Learn again. Hereafter, it is going to be a talent-based, not experience-based.
Like Bharadiyar words,
Talent-based.
Pudidai Pirandom, something that will come like that.
Unma
Every
sir.
day is a newborn baby.
I go with your word. Pudidai Prandom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nandri.
Thank you.
So before we go into the next question, we have a question in the chat box from Mr. Vijay Narayanan from Chennai. And I think that's the problem everybody will be facing. How do we motivate the mindset of the faculty who resist to change? That's the question he has.
மேடம் என்னால இல்ல நம்ம ஒரு பழமொழி நமக்கு முன்னாடி உண்டு. எம்ஜிஆர் சொன்ன பழமொழி. திருடனாய் பார்த்து திருந்தாவிட்டால் திருட்டை ஒழிக்க முடியாது. நான் அந்த பழமொழி தான் எடுத்துக்கிறேன். அதுல இருக்கு கண்டென்ட் எடுக்கல. If the total system wants to change, an individual should change. இது அவங்களா தான் பண்ண முடியுங்க. We cannot insist the whole system to vibrate. பட் இந்த பிரச்சனைகள் எங்க காலேஜ்லயும் இதே மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. when we thought about more ICT senior teachers அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஹெசிடேஷன் இருந்தது. சார் இதெல்லாம் எதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு அப்படின்ற ஒரு கேள்வி வந்துச்சு. இதெல்லாம் வேணுமா, எங்களால் அடாப்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு டைம் வேணும். நான் ஒன்று சொன்னேன், நான் திருப்பி உங்களுக்கு ட்ரெயின் பண்றேன். till you get satisfied I keep you trained. எங்க காலேஜில் 1987 ஜாயின் பண்ண ஒரு டீச்சர், அவங்க இப்போ டீனா இருக்காங்க எங்க காலேஜில். எந்த ஒரு சேஞ்சுக்கும் அவங்களால இம்மீடியட்டா அவங்களால அக்செப்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. பட் நவ் she say that I am comfortable, very much comfortable. I am leading the pathway. But it took time. Young minds will adapt easily, ma'am, for the changes. This is inevitable. இப்போ நம்ம சைக்கிள் ஓட்டிட்டு இருக்கவங்கள திடீர்னு ஒரு மோட்டார் பைக் கத்துக்க சொன்னா ஒரு 15 வயசு 20 வயசு பையன் சீக்கிரம் கத்துப்பான். பட் இதுவே ஒரு 40 வயசு 50 வயசுல இருக்கவங்க it takes time. பட் பேசிக்கலா மைண்ட் செட் அவங்களுக்கு அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா there is a need for change அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயம் வந்துச்சுனாவே போறோம். For which the top team to vibrate first, they have to change first, then the next level leaders, then automatically the other things will happen inside the system. So top management should come out with clear policy with all the stakeholders, like how I have dealt it, because whatever we deal in Ramakrishna group dealing, at 4 o'clock we have a deliberation with all our teachers on our objectives. Once if we dealt with certain policy implementation here, all are owners. I repeat the word, all are owners. It is not the view of the principal. I just bring ideas from them, I consolidate and I can give back. I'm a facilitator here, that's it. So
Sure,
when
sir.
you make ownership with everyone, it is possible.
Sure, sir. That's a very good answer that you have given. Any other questions from the participants?
Sir,
Can we take it?
sir, there are few questions in YouTube, sir.
Yeah,
I have shared my screen. This is notepad I have shared. I think is it?
Yeah, I
visible
could
to
find
sir?
one question. Can you please inform us more about virtual reality, its uses and its effects and educational aspects? Sir, to be frank, augmented reality and virtual reality, we have brought as a subject here. But really, we want to bring virtual reality and augmented reality as the teacher tool for imparting education. We are also really in the learning stage. Probably I can connect one of the expert from Taylor's University, Malaysia, because we are learning. We had 2 sessions already with Professor Kandappan, who is working in Taylor's University. He is very well adapted augmented reality into his teaching methodology. I'm sorry that I'm not in a position to give much about it because I'm also learning the same area. I can very well connect Dr. Kandappan with you. Maybe I can text his number to Dr. Parents. You can get from Dr. Parents and you can interact. You can have a session with Dr. Kandappan of Taylor's University. He is a very good friend of mine. I've just put a word. He can give a webinar to you as well as to your friends or colleagues in your maybe college or in your platform. That's my answer to you. And how can we increase EQ in students? I gave some points to you. I can share my slides to you, and maybe I can connect my academic council dean with you, Professor. If you are from VOC college, I can share the slide. You can kindly collect it, and if you search in Google, you will get a lot of points how one can improve the EQ in the teaching learning process. There are a number of components given. You adopt whatever possible to implement in your own system. I can't say that whatever Ramakrishna implemented is possible in VOC college or any other college because the system need to accept and the system availability to be taken care, student mindset, all those matters. Whatever possible in a small way, in a humble way, if you start, you can able to make changes. This is my answer to you. What will be the placement and recruitment for the future? Oh my God. Now itself, companies wants to recruit only in online. Yesterday, one drive took place for our students, for the second year students who are all moving to third year. About 7 students got placed with a salary of 3.5 lakhs. And the profile of job is going to be work from home. Work from home. 5 years in a day. What may be the timing? Whatever may be the timing. The company recruited our students is UiPath, and that is in automation, RPA area. Yes, it is going to be a big challenge. Maybe after this COVID issue, it will take its own time of people predict that another 5 months or 6 months time. And yesterday, the head of AIIMS telling that only the peak time is awaiting in India. Only in June, July, COVID pandemic issue will be peak in India. So if this is the situation, recruitment will not be there for another 5-6 months. If at all, only for some few jobs which one can work through the system in programming mode or online mode. Only for them the jobs may be available for another 5 or 6 months time. Let us hope that, right, maybe after December things will be better. Let us have our regular classes. Let us all hope that things will come back on our control to see that more of our students get educated and go for still better job. Of course, the future skill is again a big question. We have to anticipate and move forward to give a sufficient skill for our student community. Without augmented reality, without digital marketing skill, very difficult for our students to get into job market. How the online platform of teaching learning will ensure all-round development in children? Sir, this online platform is one of, I'm not completely endorsing that we should completely adopt online. Only the face-to-face training, emotional connectivity with the student alone will personally touch a student. I strongly agree. Regular teaching will have its own impact. We cannot substitute with online platforms. Maybe some areas we can think of in online. Now it's a time we cannot connect our students face-to-face inside our college or in classroom system. That's why we have connected, but this is not a permanent substitute. It is an additional component. A teacher cannot be replaced by an online platform, no doubt. This is my point of view. Mr. Shivasubramaniam, what is the mechanism you have to follow using smartphones in your campus? As I told just before, it's an additional tool. That's it. Wherever we require, we make use of it. Exams are effectively being conducted in mobile phones because subjective type questions are very well easily possible. Instead of writing, And you know, I will just give one more example in this regard, smartphone help. We have a component called a seminar in almost in all the subjects. The intention is to see that a student getting developed in communication aspect, consolidation, and maybe the usage of multimedia tools, all those things. This is the intention behind asking a student to present a seminar in a classroom environment. Consolidation capacity, comprehension capacity, communication, usage of the multimedia tool is to be developed among the student community. That is the basic idea. Practically, when we see in our classroom, we will be having about 50 students or 60 students in a class. When we thought of giving seminar, we initially planned the beginning of the semester that the seminar should be given away for the students. Is it possible for 5 subjects or 6 subjects for all the students to giving away seminar? But finally, we award mark for every student. This can be effectively take place in online environment. Online environment, we use Google Classroom, in which a student can record the seminar sitting in their home and upload to the teacher for the topic given by the teacher. It's working very well in our college. Before upload the recorded seminar of a student, he goes for n number of rehearsal trial. By the way of doing n number of trial, his communication goes up, his comprehension is better, and he presents with a number of multimedia tools which is available in the free of cost in the open media. Many times it's surprise to us. Many students will be innovative in terms of presentation. So this online is supporting in many ways, including the seminar presentation, of course, examinations. We connect with the students with a number of components like giving away the lecture notes, recorded e-content of the teacher, whatever YouTube or Khan Academy or spoken tutorial link to the students through Google Classrooms or other platforms. In that way, yes, this mobile is really helpful in our campus. You can also try. If your management is permitting that, you can ask your students to come with mobile. I find one more question from Kamaraj College, Madam Shanti. Is it possible for our college where the students have no basic necessities of learning through online mode? Ma'am, I don't know. In my college, about 3 years back, I found about 70% of the students were holding smartphone. Initially, when I said that those do not possess mobile phone, I can help you in our college system. Computer labs are there. So I subjected the same online learning in the computer system. Slowly in 2 years' time, I find students with even large size mobile. No student in my college say that I don't have smartphone. It is the sixth finger for all of us, all the even society, students. If you ask your students, probably now they say that 80% of them may be holding smartphone. Maybe in due time, I think another about 20% will also join. It is very well possible to connect with your students in online because data is one of easy component available in Jio 144 rupees per month pack, which gives 1.5 GB per day. So very well possible. You can think of it. Even in Kamaraj College, you can think of it now. If you ask the students to bring mobile phone, you see the number of students having the mobile phone. I think you have not experimented. Maybe with the permission of Kamaraj College management, you can just ask one day, you ask your students to bring their mobile phone. You ask how many students are not possessing mobile phone, then you can think of. Education means overall development. Our society and families are unable to give sufficient time to students. In that case, education is the only way to make good decision. I do agree. I think this COVID pandemic time is connecting as well as disconnecting the families. Yesterday we have witnessed, I don't want to reveal the government policy. Yesterday we have witnessed long queue almost in major streets, and Kadalur witnessed the, I don't know whether it is a record a 3-kilometer length. So connects and disconnects are default. It's a natural process, sir. I think I have no further comment on this. So I'm open for any other queries. That's all I did. I mean, I got from Johnson, sir.
You are right, sir. As a VOC
Principal, I would like to share one point regarding this COVID-19 situation. I should always thanks to my colleagues, because in this time we have been doing a lot of programs for the welfare of the society through our educational institution. In this placement, we are planning to conduct one program on 30th, impact on COVID on placement. We have invited international speakers also. So I request all the participants, on behalf of our Vivo Chidambaram College, I invite all of you to come and attend on 13th program also. In addition to that, as you pointed out very clearly, regarding that autonomy institution and non-autonomy institution is concerned, there is a progressive must be there in the non-autonomy institution also. I do agree with your statement, but the government also has to provide funds for the development of the affiliated colleges. What is your opinion regarding that, sir?
Sir, I think if the days goes, I think the fund what the aided institutions receive probably will come down. This I'm just telling the university. I mean government focus. So government doesn't want to give away money just like that. So the fund received by or receiving by the aided colleges are going to come down slowly. This is my point of view. Since I'm working with UGC, MHRD, many people are connected with me. Even last week, the Joint Secretary gave away one webinar session with for all our principals here in Coimbatore. So if that is the case, we have to be self-sustainable campus. Self-sustainability is going to be the mantra for the future, no doubt.
Okay.
So we have to, no other way, we have to depend on the tuition fees. Once if we start giving quality education, students don't mind in paying for the quality education. So in my college, compared to VOC college, fee structure is high. But no one is claiming that I'm paying higher fees. Yes, we satisfy every student by giving very quality education system. They don't mind in paying. Students, initially when I opened my door to abroad, I find that very few students inquired, but in the recent past, queue is there. I have cancelled the trip of many of our students supposed to take their flight to Malaysia, to Sunway University or Taylor's University for training program. ஒரு 5-6 batch நான் cancel பண்ணிருக்கேன் the next 3 months நடக்க போற விஷயம். They don't mind in spending because they believe that they will get quality education, they will get better exposure there, and they would like to see employability even beyond the Indian continent. So they don't mind in spending. They work in the daytime, they come for the college, or they come for the college in the morning, go for work. They collect money, keep money for this trip, 35,000 or 40,000 rupees. They easily earn in 1 year time, and they spend for their education. So quite possible, sir, quite possible. And students are ready for spending for quality education, no doubt on that. Of course, non-autonomous colleges, when this is going to be the situation, NEP says that all the colleges are going to be autonomous.
Okay.
We have to come along.
It comes, we have to.
One have to come along. No other option. அப்போ நமக்கு வாழ்வா சாவா அப்படின்ற கொஸ்டின் தான் இருக்கும். Which college is giving better candidates? Natural. And the placement, some of our friend asked how the placement is going to be. இன்னி காலேஜ் எல்லாம் வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே இல்லை சார். சென்ட்ரலைஸ்டு பூல் அல்லது ஆன்லைன், இப்படிதான் பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் அடுத்த 2 வருஷத்துக்கு இருக்கும். Maybe local companies may visit the institutions, but multinational companies never come to colleges for campus placement. Maybe full campus இருக்கும் அல்லது ஆன்லைன் மோடா இருக்கும்.
It will be continued up to December maybe. With this aspect, we thought in our mind, why can't we conduct the placement program?
Sir, one information to you and the colleagues, sir. In terms of placement, you know that in the recent past, in the last 1 week, the program is on. If any student is willing, they can enroll. TCS and ICT Academy, majorly, sir, they are training our students for free of cost in soft skills, aptitude, logical, reasoning ability, and all this area. Competitive examination தேவையான அத்தனை விஷயங்களும் அவங்க free of costல 15 daysக்கு இன்டென்சிவா பண்றாங்க சார். ஃப்ரீ ஆஃப் காஸ்ட்ல பண்றாங்க. சர்டிபிகேஷன் அவங்களே கொடுக்குறாங்க. TCS as well as ICT Academy. எங்க காலேஜில் இருக்க ஒரு 4000 ஸ்டூடெண்ட் என்ரோல் பண்ணிருக்கான்.
Very good.
You can direct your students also to enroll for TCS. நீங்க சர்ச் பண்ணீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும் சார். Otherwise I will send the link of both TCS and ICT Academy registration form. அதுல நீங்க உங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கூட ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. Let them register. Effectively let them learn.
Definitely, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think
Yes, Hariyanam.
Sir, Prince sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, continue.
So I think that's questions we have. If there's no other questions, can we sum up, sir?
It's
Okay, ma'am, do it.
okay for me, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, we have one
Very good afternoon, madam. Yes, nga?
I have a question, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, I am Nagarajan from Gobi Arts and Science College, sir.
Vanakkam, sir.
Sir, vanakkam, sir. Really an wonderful session from you, sir. Sir, I have a small doubt, sir. Small clarification from you. Sir, due to this online learning process, and this is my perception, I may be wrong also. Due to this, the students, I think the students are lagging their attention towards their own subject. Due to online learning, they are able to learn so many things about so many aspects, but when come to their own subject, they lack focus on their own subject. I think how we can overcome from this problem, sir?
Sir, இப்போ எங்களுக்கு இதே ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் வந்துச்சுங்க சார். நாங்க என்ன பண்ணோம்னா எங்க டீச்சர் ஷெட்யூல போட்டு உட்கார வச்சிட்டாங்க. Daily 5 hours, 4 hours. Very, very difficult. Even now in the classroom atmosphere, physical presence தான் இருக்குது. Our attention time is, researchers say day by day it is going on. When we switch over to online mode, the attention, I mean the retention time towards the speaker is going to be very, very, very minimum, sir. No doubt. But we have to do some magic here. The online teaching la irukra nariya magic kondu varanum, sir. Instead of giving away PPT alone,
Okay, sir.
2-3 டூல் செட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கணும் சார். Kahoot, Hot Potato, Clickers அப்படின்னு ஒரு 3-4 டூல், அசஸ்மெண்ட் டூல், ஏதாவது அசஸ்மெண்ட் டூலோ அல்லது ஒரு கேம் பேஸ்டு டூலோ செட் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கணும் சார். நீங்க until otherwise you create wow once in about ஒரு 20 minutes 15 minutesக்கு ஒரு வாவை கிரியேட் பண்ணலினா, ஒரு ஜோக்ஸ் சொல்லலினா அட்டென்ஷன் இருக்காது.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Very, very big challenge in online, sir. கிளாஸ் ரூம்ல எவன் பேசினாலும் நம்மளால கண்டுபிடிச்ச முடியும். ஆப்சன்ட் போட்டுருவோம், வெளியே அனுப்பிடுவோம், ஹெச்ஓடி ரூமுக்கு அனுப்பிடுவோம். ஆனா ஆன்லைன்ல பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ ஆன்லைன்ல we the teachers are supposed to be caliber enough to keep up our audience. So we have to do lot of effort, lot of homework before we get into online. அந்த 1 hourல நீங்க எஃபிஷியண்டா உங்க டீச்சிங் கொண்டுட்டு போனோம்னா டோட்டல் கம்யூனிட்டிக்கும் இல்லைன்னா அங்க கவுண்ட் குறைஞ்சிட்டே இருக்கும்.
Yes, sir.
So you have to keep up other than PPT, அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் ரிலேட்டட் சர்வேஸோ அல்லது வேற ஏதாவது ஒரு வீடியோவோ இதான் கொடுத்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும்.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Prince sir, any other questions, sir? Prince sir, you have any question?
No, ma'am, you go ahead.
Okay. Okay, sir. I think we can continue.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello. Myself, I am Rajarajeshwari. I am from nursing college. I'm the faculty of nursing college. Sir, I have one more doubt, and I have some issues on this, sir. Actually, before lockdown, we will also in our college will prohibited the mobiles because of lot of issues of mobiles and other things. We are not permit phones, and we'll always inform to our student parents, don't use the mobile phone, don't give the mobile phone, like that. And now the situation after the lockdown period, now we started with the online classes, Google Classroom, Zoom, and Google Meet, and so many webinar classes in online. And now we put the attendance also in the online. And now the parents giving the feedback cause you only told not to use the phone. Now everyone is standing the phone for 12 hours they are standing in the phone or something, and they'll have the so many health issues. They will be saying ears are eyes are paining and ears are paining. You are the made, you are the persons are making our students to have these type of issues like that, they are saying. Okay, and what is the suggestion can we give, sir?
Madam, no other go. No other go.
Yes, sir.
No
Yes,
other
sir.
go.
Yes, sir.
நீங்க
Yes, sir.
இப்போ என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ
Yes, sir.
I'm finding one issue with respect to நீங்க முன்னாடி மொபைல் போன் யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னது தவறுன்றீங்களா?
இல்ல இல்ல தவறு சொல்றதுக்கு இல்லைங்க சார். ஆக்சுவலி மொபைல் போன் யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. as a we a nurse we will do mostly we are in the basic care, sir, care aspects. So
Madam, I don't know
you
whether you because you are from medical sciences.
yes,
இப்போ இந்த
sir.
மொபைல் போன் யூஸ் பண்ண நம்மளோட ஜீன் ஸ்ட்ரக்சரே மாறிட்டு இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது
Yes, sir.
பயோசயின்டிஸ்ட் சொல்லிட்டு தான்
Yes,
இருக்காங்க.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
next
Yes, sir.
generation is going to be born with mobile. That's the situation.
Yes, sir.
So it's inevitable toolங்க. But 5
Yes.
hours, 6 hours is a very long time for the students, madam. Maybe
Yes, sir.
daily ஒரு 2 hours maximum அல்லது 3 hours அதுக்கு மேல
Yes, sir.
குழந்தைங்க தாங்க
Yes, sir.
மாட்டாங்க.
Yes,
நம்மளாலும்
sir.
3 hours மேல ஒரு வெபினார் செஷன்ல உட்கார முடியும்.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ஸோ கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ணுங்க, பேரண்ட்ஸ் கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ணுங்க, வழி இல்லை. முதல்ல அப்படி சொன்னாங்க, பட் இப்போ நாங்க மாத்திக்கிறோங்க எங்க ஸ்டாண்ட் அப்படின்னு எடுங்க, வேற வழி இல்லை.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful class, sir, for you. And myself, I am very, very legally watched. I didn't hear this education 4 or something. Thank you so much, sir. You are given very good platform to me, sir. Thank you, sir.
Nice of you, ma'am. Thank you for joining from
Always.
the nursing institution.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your question. And I think that will be the last question we'll be taking up. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Karnagaran, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation and also your highlights on Education 4.0. And I think all the participants, when we got the feedback from the chat box itself, they have given us a very good response and of your presentation, your PPTs and everything was excellent. And thank you so much on enlightening us. I think it's a tip of the iceberg which you have shown us, and you have a great responsibility as we teachers on our shoulders, what we have to do in taking up this responsibility of Education 4.0 in creating emotional intelligence, creativity, people management, or the 3 points which you have stressed in students, in inculcating in students. That's a very big challenge we have ahead of us. And I think this lockdown period also gives us some time to look into this matter and how we can equip ourselves, especially in this open-ended resources, how we can utilize these resources, resource management and all the ICT tools. I thank you so much, sir, for giving us your wonderful time in spite of your busy schedule. And on behalf of IQAC of VOC and the principal and the management, I thank you once again for your wonderful talk and a wonderful lecture, which has benefited most of the people of Pan-India. Thank you so much, sir. And I also extend a very, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And I also I extend my very grateful thanks to my technical team of Govindan sir and Dr. John Prince. The broadcast was was flawless, I think, and YouTube link was also going on very well. I thank you, sir, Prince sir, and GN sir. And I thank all the IQAC members also who have taken up this responsibility of arranging the seminar. And I thank all the participants mostly. We have got a very good response from all over India. And I thank all the participants for sparing their time during this lockdown period for coming over here. And I suggest to participants to fill up this feedback form which you have on your screens. You have your link, and so that we can send you the e-certificates to your mail IDs. The certificates will be sent to the mail IDs of all the participants who have attended the seminar, who have given back this feedback forms in the link given below. And thank you so much once again. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I had a very great time today also with the VOC family. I would like to call it a VOC family. Thank you for the great opportunity, and I'm always with VOC development.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Principal sir. Thank you, madam. Thank you,
Thank
John
you
sir,
so much, sir. Thank
for
you so
providing
much
the
for your words,
opportunity
sir.
once
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
Nice
Have a
approach.
nice day. Have a nice day, sir.
Days.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Sir.
Jane sir.
Yes.